Welcome back to my channel. I'm Tanealia, and in today's video I am doing my very first collaboration. I have never done one of these before, which is kind of unreal when you think about the fact that I've been on YouTube like 3 years now and I have never done a collaboration with anybody, so this will be my first one. Dion Luvs Makeup reached out to me and asked me if I would like to do a collaboration with her, and I love her channel, I love her personality, so of course I said yes. I will have Dion's video, the link to her video, the link to her channel, and I'll also link her Instagram down below so you guys can check her out. She's an over the age of 40 creator just like me. I love her personality. I think she's so sweet. I think she's funny. She has this no nonsense, I don't give a AF kind of personality where she's all about doing what you love the way you love it, not being concerned about what everybody else thinks, not being concerned about trying to keep up with the trends and what everybody, how everybody else is putting on their makeup, but doing it the way that you love and in a way that makes you happy. We decided for this collaboration, we would talk about our journey on YouTube, where we started, why we decided to start a YouTube channel, what the experience has been like for us. I know Dion has been on YouTube, I think a little more than 6 years. So she's been on YouTube almost twice as long as I have. I just had my 3-year anniversary, so I think she's been on YouTube almost twice as long as I have. So she has a lot more experience in this. Her journey's been, a little bit bigger than mine, and I think you would enjoy hearing about her experience as well as mine. I don't want to continue rambling too much in this opening, so we're just gonna jump right on in. Welcome to my first collab. I'm excited and nervous at the same time. Like I mentioned in the intro, I've never done a collab before, so yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm excited to do this, kind of build a little bit more community on my platform. What I'm going to be doing is just putting on my makeup, getting ready with me as I talk about my YouTube journey. If I don't mention the name of the products as I'm putting them on, as always, they will be listed in my description box below. I'm starting with my Essence Poreless Partner Primer. This is newer to my collection. Mattifying and blurring. I've actually been enjoying this. I've been using this for about a week now, and I am really liking it. It feels really cooling when you're applying it to the skin. I'm definitely seeing blurring going on. Don't know if I'm seeing a lot of mattifying, but it does make my skin look really nice, and my foundation blends over it really, really nicely, so I'm enjoying that. All right, where my YouTube journey began. We're going to go back just a little bit and kind of start with how I got into makeup. I have been wearing makeup my entire life. I've been wearing makeup since I was 14, but I wasn't really into makeup until about 2019. So I would say I was about maybe 43, 44 at the time. Before then, while I was wearing makeup, I didn't really care about makeup. Like, I didn't care about the brands I was using. I didn't care about formulas. I didn't care about any of that. All I cared about was making my face as matte as possible. Now, I did talk about some of these things in my Q&A. I will have that listed down below in case you guys want to check that out, but we're just going to be elaborating a little bit more in this video as we go along. My makeup collection back then was like so minimal. I had like a few like cheaper eyeshadow palettes, nothing like really brand name. I get a lot of things from like Five Below. I had, I think, one foundation, one concealer, one powder. Blush, highlighter was not really a thing for me. I have oily skin, so I always thought the highlighter would just make me look really oily and shiny, so I wasn't really interested in using it. Where I started getting kind of interested in makeup, I'm just going to say it, Jeffree Star. I discovered his channel, and this time I didn't really know anything about him. I just thought he was a very talented makeup artist. I thought he was absolutely gorgeous and just super, super funny, and I just really enjoyed watching his videos, and watching his content was basically how I became interested in makeup. I still wasn't like fully, sucked in yet, but that's where my interest started. Now, where I became super, super interested in makeup, like super intrigued, super excited about makeup, just found it very fascinating and very interesting, and I just kind of wanted to learn more and more about it. I think it was 2019. It was when the Tati Westbrook, James Charles, Jeffree Star, Halo Glow, Sugar Bear hair gummies. That drama, I guess Dramageddon 2 is what they called it when that became a big deal. That's when I really got sucked into the world of beauty. I discovered a bunch of YouTube channels that I had never heard of before. Started getting into drama channels, something that I wasn't really interested in before either, and I just became so fascinating. At the time, I knew of Tati Westbrook. I watched a few of her videos. James Charles, the only thing I really knew about him was like the CoverGirl ads that he was doing, and he had done a Jeffree Star video where he was doing Shane Dawson's makeup, and that's kind of, you know, what that was really how I knew of James Charles. But you know, during when that drama really hit, that's when I really got sucked into all of it, and I just became extremely fascinated with makeup. I fell in love with the world of beauty on YouTube. I just wanted to take it all in. I wanted to learn about it as much as I possibly could. Around the end of 2019, beginning of 2020 was when my interest in starting my own YouTube channel began. At the time, I was part of a Jeffree Star makeup group. I was one of the admins, and I just really wanted to start my own channel. I really just wanted to share my love of beauty with the world, and so I started my channel. It was called Uyong Beauty at first. If you guys have been with me from the beginning, then you remember when my channel was called that. And I chose that because Uyong basically means best face in Korean. And being half Korean, I wanted to incorporate a little bit of the Korean side of me, you know, in my YouTube channel. So that's why I chose that name. I also just switched over a channel I already had. Unlike, you know, most people, I didn't start from scratch. If you go back in my channel to like the very beginnings, you will see that there are music videos. Like I used to take movie and TV clips and just like match them to like music and stuff like that and do like little montages. And I had a video, Peter Gabriel, Book of Love, and I cut that with clips from romantic movies, animated and live action. That video had just under 700,000 views, and that combined with views from other videos that I had gave me 2,700 watch time hours, and I was at like 750 subscribers. So when I started my channel, I thought it'd just be easier to just switch over instead of starting from scratch, and then I wouldn't have to like be trying to build from zero. And it did help a little bit, but honestly, not much. I'm going to go into this cream bronzer contour from Quebest. Shade number 1, it says orange pink, which is interesting because it's not orange pink. This is one of the items that I picked up in that Temu haul. If you remember in that video, I forgot about it and ended up blending it over my powder. I want to try blending it over my foundation and under my powder and seeing how that works. I've used it a couple of times though since, and once again over my powder. I keep forgetting to do it over my foundation, but I am enjoying it. It's actually it's a pretty decent bronzer when you consider the fact I think I only paid a few dollars for it. So I'm just going to start buffing it in. Now, like I said, it was early 2020 when I decided to start my channel. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. I started my channel literally, it was February 9th, 2020 was the date that my very first video went live. And exactly almost 1 month later, the pandemic hit, everything shut down, nobody was wearing makeup, we were all in masks, and the world everything just went crazy and topsy-turvy. And I still, to this day, just cannot believe that we were ever, in that state. Just the unbelievable, just how unbelievable it was, what was going on at that time. But, because of that, I do feel like my channel just did not get a good start. Like, my channel basically got a really shitty start. I'm just going to say it that way. I don't usually cuss on my channel, but let's just be real. My channel got a really shit start. I tried to keep on going, keep pushing, trying to keep some sense of normalcy where my channel was. But of course, my views in that first year, they were terrible. And by the time I finished that first year, I was really sad. I was a little anxious about everything. I felt like I was really struggling. Of course, back then, I'm sure this is how it is for pretty much all of us. When you first start your YouTube channels, we don't know any better. It's we have crappy audio, crappy lighting. You're looking at your first videos, you think, man, this looks so good. And then you go back a year later and you look at those first videos and you realize, no, they weren't good. They were actually pretty bad, man. If you go back and watch those videos from when I first started my channel, yeah, the lighting and everything in those videos was pretty bad. But I learned a lot, you know, especially going into my second year. Just like my first year, you know, I'm pushing along, I'm chugging along, I'm determined, you know, to make this work. My views, they're not very good. I'm still trying to get monetized at this point, you know, going into my third year. I've been on YouTube for 2 whole years at this point, and going into my third year, I'm still trying to get monetized. And what makes it so difficult is the way that YouTube does everything. You guys who've been trying to get monetized still, you know exactly, you know what I mean. You gotta get 4,000 watch time hours, 1,000 subscribers. Getting the 1,000 subscribers isn't as difficult as those watch time hours. Not like, you know, you start on this date and you have from this date to this date to get 4,000 watch time hours, because you have to do it in 1 year. No, what it is it's a constant rolling 12 months. It starts every day. Those 4,000 watch time hours basically start over, because what they're doing is they are counting from that day 12 months back. So you could have, you know, 3 days ago, had a video that had a ton of watch time hours, right? And so you're at this point 2 days later, because the video that you uploaded, or some videos that you uploaded just weren't doing very good. All of a sudden your watch time hours drop back down. And so it's a constant up and down battle of trying, you know, to get those watch time hours. Extremely frustrating. But I finally did, about halfway through my third year on YouTube. I think I'd been on YouTube for about 2.5 years at the time. I finally hit those 4,000 watch time hours. I'd been at 1,000 subscribers for a little while, but it was getting the watch time hours that was taking me a little bit longer. Now that I am monetized, you know, I'm thinking, okay, it should be easier now, a little bit easier to start getting views, you know, to start gaining more subscribers. You know, I shouldn't have as difficult a time, and boy, was I wrong. I am still sitting here. I am still struggling so hard. And you guys, the biggest issue for me, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. That's where I am today as well. You know, I'm watching my channel not grow. I see people, you know, who are not really spending a lot of time, you know, trying to make their channels look good. They barely upload. You know what I'm talking about. People who don't really do any kind of editing. The videos just don't look good, right? They're growing. They're gaining subscribers. They're getting views. I'm over here busting my butt. I'm uploading 3 to 4 times a week. I'm putting all this time and energy into editing. By the way, I'm using that Focalure blush. This also came in that Temu haul. This is pretty. Oh, it's a very soft, like peachy shade. Oh, that is beautiful. But yeah, I'm spending all this time editing, trying to improve my thumbnails. And over the course of like those first couple of years, a lot of things about my channel improved significantly. My background, my lighting, my sound, the way that I look, you know, and carry myself on camera. Because in the very beginning, you know, while I, you know, did have a little bit of confidence, and it did help me, you know, starting my channel did help me to build, you know, a little bit more confidence, I was still a little nervous. I was still anxious. I wasn't educated, especially with makeup. I still didn't really know what I was talking about half the time. I've learned like so much, you know, in that first couple of years. But yeah, so many things about my channel I improved, and I just felt like even though I was making I'm making all these changes on the outside, I'm just not seeing that reflected in my views. I'm not seeing that reflected in my subscribers. I'm barely growing anything, you know, my subscriber count, and it's just it's extremely frustrating. It's really frustrating when you just can't figure out what you're doing wrong. That you feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, but nothing is happening as a result of it. It's like those of you who've been doing this for a little while, you know what I'm talking about. So now we're in, I think it's November 2021. I've been on YouTube almost 3 years, or almost 2 years rather, not quite 2 years. And you guys, I fell into this like depression. I was so sad, feeling just depressed and hopeless about this channel. I was at the point where I was forcing myself to film. I didn't really want to, because every time I would sit down and I would start filming, my thoughts are saying to me, nobody's going to watch this. Nobody cares about what you have to say. Nobody gives a rat's behind about anything you're talking about. What is the point? I ended up taking like a 2.5 week break, which helped a little. Came back at the beginning of December of that year, and I did my 25 days of uploads, and just like the year before, it sucked. I didn't really get a lot of views. Going back just a little bit, a lot of people, when they start their channels, they say, oh, I'm just doing it just for fun. It's just a hobby. I don't really care about the views. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, that's BS. Am I saying that they're lying when they say they don't care about views? No, but the views do matter. If they find themselves all of a sudden waking up one morning, they have 10,000 views in the video, they're not going to be sitting there going, oh, that's fine, the views don't really matter, I don't care. No, they're going to be super excited about that. They're going to be, sharing that with their family and their friends. They're going to be talking about that in the video because it's a major milestone. It does matter. Even if you're doing this just as a hobby, we are not out here making these videos, spending hours of our time and energy and money and whatever to make content because we don't care if anybody watches it. And anybody who says that, anybody who says they don't care, that they're lying. We all care if people are actually watching our content or not. We're not doing this because we just don't care. For eyeshadow, we are trying that Bare Mood palette, which is kind of that copy of the Colourpop Nude Mood. I'm going to see what this one is like. But yeah, when I started my channel, yes, I started my channel for fun. I wanted to share my love of makeup. That's the #1 reason why I started it. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not up here like to sugarcoat and pretend to be something I'm not. I was hoping that this could become a business for me, that I could eventually build this into something where I could make a viable income, something that could help, me and my family going into the future. But, here I am 3 years later. I just had my 3-year anniversary, by the way. February 9th was 3 years on YouTube. So I've been here officially 3 years. And while I've seen a little bit of progress, I'm nowhere near where I was hoping I would be at this point. Going back to December 2022. I decided, you know what, we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep trying. And, I go into January and I'm filming a lot. I'm uploading a lot, and my views are still very low. We're still not really progressing. We're still not doing very well. It was kind of like that going all through, 2022. It's only been until recently that I've started to build any kind of community at all on this platform. I'd say up until about a couple of months ago, I was still pretty much, by myself. I made like a couple of, acquaintance, kind of like friends, but having a community, I just didn't have. One of the things that I'm constantly battling with on my channel is getting interactions, comments, responses, that type of thing. Now, I do have some of you guys that I know do comment, regularly, and I very much appreciate that. I don't want this to sound like I don't appreciate you, because I really, really do appreciate every single one of you that comments. But the majority of the time, if I do get a comment, I may get 1, maybe 2. That's it. Right? The mattes in this palette are actually blending pretty well. Is it the same quality as Colourpop? Not quite, but it's not terrible. I'm not having any issues with building or blending or anything. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, I kind of felt like for the longest time, I'm pretty much alone. I can go onto somebody else's channel and they have 60 or 70 views in the video, which is not a ton, but they have 30 comments. And what that means is that while they're not getting a whole lot of views, they do have a community. They have subscribers and viewers that are actually watching their channel, that care about what they have to say, that care about their reviews, that actually care about them as a person. And that matters. I still don't have that. Like I said, I know that I do have some of you out there who have been with me for a while, and you do comment and you do interact, and I appreciate you. I'm not saying that I don't. But that real community, I just don't have. YouTube has been a very lonely experience with me. For the first 2.5 years of being on this platform, it's been a pretty lonely experience for me. Like I said, I've just now started to build, a little bit of a community anyway. Now, I did have some pretty amazing things happen for me, like being put on Nomad's PR list. That was huge for me going into this year. When Nomad reached out to me, I was just so freaking honored, so freaking excited about that. You guys know I love Nomad Cosmetics, so of course that has been an amazing experience for me. But just as a whole, YouTube has just been a constant struggle for me. And the biggest thing, like I said, is just not being able to figure out what I'm doing wrong. First impressions of this palette. The mattes are really, really nice. The shimmers, though, I'm not particularly impressed with. One of the things that I decided going into 2023, having been on YouTube for 3 years, and I know for a lot of people that's just not a big deal. I have posted like on my personal Facebook page and stuff how I feel about struggling with YouTube. And you know, people on in my actual real life are creators, but not YouTube creators. Painters, cosplayers, you know, they sew, they're authors, they write books. And I've had people say to me, you know, the views shouldn't matter. All you should care about is doing it for yourself. Well, obviously I'm doing it for myself first. But none of us are doing this because we're hoping nobody's going to read our book or buy a painting or, you know, buy the purse that we made and put up on Etsy. That's obviously not the case. An author is not spending, you know, weeks, months, whatever, how much time it is, writing a book, getting it published because they don't care if anybody buys it. That's just not real. We're all hoping that we're going to grow in whatever field it is, you know, of our creative endeavors that we're pursuing, right? And I just feel like after 3 years being on YouTube, which, you know, is not a whole lot of time, but when you've been uploading 3 to 4 times a week, every single week, and then 3 years in a row, 25 days in a row for your 25 days of uploads for Christmas, and you're still barely seeing any kind of growth, not much is happening. Yeah, it does start to hit your self-esteem, and it does start to make you doubt what you're doing and whether or not you should still be doing it. I love YouTube. I ain't gonna lie, I love YouTube. I love, you know, making my videos. I love making my content. One thing that I will say, if somebody were to ask me, you know, what kind of advice do you have for someone wanting to start a YouTube channel? First and foremost, you have to love it. You have to love what you're doing. If you don't like making videos, you don't particularly enjoy the content that you're talking about, you don't like editing, you're going to be miserable. This is just not going to be a good experience for you. If the only reason why you're getting into it is because you're hoping to become the next Mr. Beast or Nick Tutorial or something like that, it's not going to happen. You're going to have a rude awakening. It just doesn't work like that. A very small number of people actually get to a certain point, and even smaller will ever get to like 1 million views, let alone, you know, 10 million views or whatever that Mr. Beast, you know, currently has right now. That's just not realistic. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, first and foremost, you have to love it. You have to love what you're talking about. Now, as far as how to grow on this platform, I would love to be able to say, just work hard, be persistent, be consistent, upload on a regular basis, you know, just really, really just push and work hard and persevere, and you're going to get there. But I honestly cannot say that because that's what I've been doing for 3 years, and I've not made much progress at all. Trying to grow on YouTube, trying to build my subscribers, build my community, build, you know, my views and all that, it has been a real struggle for me on this platform, and I don't know why. One of the things that I keep telling myself is if I could just figure out what I'm doing wrong, then I could finally grow. No matter how many times I say, let me know guys what you think in the comments, it doesn't seem to matter. I make it 1 or 2 comments and that's it. I feel like I'm like just struggling to like pull any kind of interaction out of my viewers at all, and I don't know if it's because of me, like am I just boring and people just don't care enough to comment? I don't know. I've made posts in my community tab where I've asked, what do you guys think of this? Do you want to see more of this? Do you want to see more of that? And I'll get like an overwhelming response to do more of this type of video, and then I do that video and it doesn't get watched and I don't have a single comment. One of the decisions that I made going into 2023 was that I'm going to give this one good year, one more good year. If after that year I am still where I'm at now, you know, I have completed 4 full years on YouTube and I still haven't seen much growth, I still haven't seen much happening, then I'm just going to take that as a sign from the universe that it's time to move on. I just can't see myself here for 4, 5, 6, 7 years in the same place and not growing. Mentally, emotionally, it's just not something that I can deal with, and I don't really think it's fair. We're trying out the Amuse lipstick. It's really pretty, like neutrally pink. I've been excited about trying this one out. Ooh, that feels extremely creamy and smooth. Ooh, I really like the way that feels, and that shade is really pretty. I might go back on Temu and order some more shades of this. This is really pretty. As I was saying, you know, in my opinion, I feel like if you're working hard at something, and not just me, I'm talking about anybody on this platform. If you're putting all that time, energy, your heart, just blood and sweat and tears into your channel, you should be able to see some growth. It shouldn't be that you're working week after week, month after month, year after year, and you're still in the same place. And I keep saying to myself, if I could just figure out what I'm doing wrong, then I can finally get over this hump and I can finally start to see some real growth. But honestly, I don't know. I mean, that's been the biggest struggle for me. It's just I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I feel like I'm still trying to figure it out and I'm nowhere near there. And it's been, for me personally, with my journey on YouTube, it has been a struggle emotionally, physically, mentally, all the above. But all in all, I do love what I do. I would not still be sitting here right now continually trying to make content, even though I still feel like no one's going to watch it half the time. You know, if I didn't love it and I didn't feel like I had something to say and something to share, I don't know, maybe my age, my ethnicity, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But if I didn't feel like I had something to say that could contribute, you know, to the beauty community, I would have stopped filming a year ago. I wouldn't still be here. So yeah, I'm just really hoping to see something happening in these coming months because I would like to continue on into a 5th year. But if I'm going to be in the same place as I am now, I'm just going to be real. I just don't know if that's something that I can personally do. You know, let me know, guys, down in the comments what it's been like for you. How long have you been on YouTube? What has your experience been like? You know, are you still struggling, you know, to get that 4,000 watch time hours and the 1,000 subscribers? Make sure that you jump over and you check out Dion's video. Like I said, I will have her channel link, the video link, the collab video, and her Instagram linked down below. Definitely check her out. I think you will love her channel. Thank you guys so much for being here with me for another year. Hopefully we can grow together, build more of a community. I love each and every one of you, and I look forward to seeing, you know, what we achieve in the coming months. If you're new to the channel and you are not already subscribed, I would love it if you would consider joining my little family and hitting subscribe, and make sure you tap the notification bell so you can be notified of any videos coming up in the future. You can also follow me on my other socials. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.